Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Yay! I have a little bit of a different welcome this morning. How many of you were here last Sunday? I was board host as well. And I have to tell you, I think some of you know my work is a dumpster fire, and I didn't even know it was Christmas. Like, I came in all black, and everybody was sparkly and jingly, and it was all beautiful, and I realized I gotta step up my game. This is my community. So, I want you to know what I bought. Because for those of you that don't know, I actually watch a llama farm. So when I saw the llama on the front, I'm like, that's amazing. Because here's what happens. You know the Grinch story? Where his heart grew 2 sizes. I swear to you, when I saw those little lamb's ears, that little whatever nugget wearing those cute little lamb's ears, I thought I was gonna die. And my heart just expanded. And I'm like, I have to step up my game. That may be the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I am not doing my part. So today, I want you to know that I am with you, not only in body, but also in spirit. And here is the evidence that I am presenting to you today. And so this is my welcome to you. No matter where you are, whether you're having a bad day, whether you're having a good day, this is our community. And we come together to support and to remind what is really important. And we don't tell you what's important. You know what's important. All we do is spend time with you so that you can realize what's important. So welcome. We are so glad you're here. No matter what you believe, no matter who you love, you are in the right place. And we are thrilled that you are here. And I am thrilled that I am here. Okay, we have several announcements. All are invited to join members of the UUCR choir for a fun community caroling event this afternoon. The group will meet in the church parking lot at 1:30 and then go a caroling at 2 retirement homes in our community. Pick up a flyer in the foyer and visit with Bob Anderson or Megan Pitlock Schmitt after church. No experience is necessary and all ages are welcome. Last night, Bella Voce concert raised $800 for Helping Hungry Kids. So thank you very much for those who participated in that concert. We hope that you will be joining us for our Christmas Eve candlelight service this Saturday, December 24th at 5 p.m. We will gather as a spiritual community in the sanctuary and on Zoom for our holiday intergenerational celebration. Together, we will hear old familiar stories and sing beloved carols. Childcare is available. Learn more on our website calendar and in our email newsletter. Please note that we will not be holding a worship service on Christmas Day, Sunday, December 25th. There are many good virtual and pre-recorded services available online that you can watch from the comfort of your home. I also recommend ELF. We will include information about this in our holiday newsletter this week. Please plan to kick off the new year with our worship service on New Year's Day, Sunday, January 1 at 10 a.m. This service will be led by Kara Fortner with music curated by Jeff Lauer. Kara and Jeff have worked together to develop this very special service titled Seasons of Love. Now, let us center ourselves for worship. Please take some deep, quieting breaths with me. Let us enter our time of worship together as we listen to this morning's prelude.
Actually, I'm first. Open the doors of the sanctuary for the people to come and rejoice. Enter into the fellowship of those who celebrate life with its warmth and with its beauty, its pain and with its healing. Come to the temple of delight for a season of simple pleasure. Come in imagery to behold the bright mystical star, to hear echoes of voices ethereal far away. Take counsel here of legendary lore, the wisdom of poetry and myth. Join together this hour, one and all, in the spirit to stir into hope the vision of trust and justice over all the world, that peace and goodwill may bless us and keep us in every generation. Ave Maria.
Our chalice lighting this morning is by Tony Perino. Candles, fire, and star. These are the symbols of this most blessed of seasons. Candles for the banishing of darkness, fire to warm hearth and home, stars to beckon us, guiding our footsteps to the holiest.
Good morning. At UUCR, we have a tradition of singing our covenant together every Sunday. Love is the spirit of this church. We will remain seated to sing this together while Catherine plays. If you are at home on Zoom, the words will be in your chat box. And if you are visiting us this morning for the first time, please accept this song as our blessing to you.
Jeff, will you come up to help me, please? This is Hanukkah week. It falls just the week before Christmas this year. And so we wanted, of course, to light a Hanukkah menorah today and tell you the story. Come on right up, Jeff. We'll share the pulpit.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jeff Schatz. Not Jewish. I was raised in a household that was half Jewish and half Christian, so we enjoyed both the holidays. And when I volunteered this spring to lead the Passover Seder again, I think Scott figured I was qualified to do this, so I'll do my best. But we do hope people will join us in a new Seder this spring.
Today is the first day of Hanukkah, the ancient 8-day Jewish holiday known as the Festival of Lights, which commemorates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem at the time of the Maccabean revolt against the Syrian, now Greek, Empire in the 2nd century BCE. The festival, which comes at the darkest time of the year, is observed by the kindling of lights of a unique candelabrum, the menorah, and you see ours in front here.
So the story of Hanukkah began over 2,000 years ago in Israel. In those days, the Jewish people lived in the part of the world that we now call Israel. There was only one temple in the city of Jerusalem where they worshiped their God. The temple was filled with many beautiful and sacred and expensive objects, including a tall golden menorah and a special lamp hidden in the innermost part of the temple. The special lamp had to stay lit all the time with a special oil that was created for it. The lamp was called the holiest of holies.
And at that time, Israel was ruled by a Syrian king who did not like the Jewish people. The Jews did not believe in Zeus and the other gods of Greece like he did. And so the king wanted everyone to worship the same as him. So he made a new law. He said, everyone must pray to the Greek gods, and we will destroy the Jewish temple. Guards, take over the temple, knock down their altar, and put up a golden statue of Zeus. That will show them whose God is the best.
So the Syrian soldiers took over the temple. They destroyed everything inside the temple. They broke the furniture. They smashed the jars of the special oil. They tracked in mud, and they let the farm animals, the pigs, in the temple. And they forbade the Jews from saying their prayers. They took away their prayers.
So now it's your turn. How would you feel if your house of worship was destroyed by someone else who told you that how you must worship? Do I hear any boos to that?
Boo.
We will now light the first Hanukkah candle, as Jews will all around the world a little later today at sunset, from the master candle, and we will say the Hanukkah prayer when that's accomplished.
So I think I struck with the right candle. Is that from right to left? Okay, thank you. Get by with a little help from that.
Yeah, we want to get it right.
Okay, so I'm going to say it in English only. Blessed art you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah light.
So this evening, Jews who celebrate Hanukkah will light the first Hanukkah candle as we have from the master candle, and they will say this prayer that we just said. I share this story in memory of the struggles of my ancestors, in celebration of their triumph over despair and for religious freedom. However we choose. Oh, okay, good.
Okay. Thank you.
We're all set.
Thank you, Reverend.
All right.
In honor of the first day of Hanukkah, our opening hymn this morning is number 221, Light One Candle. Now please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that the light didn't die. Light one candle for the faith they enjoyed when their right to exist was denied.
Does anyone here, in just a moment, does anyone here have an Advent calendar they're using to count down the days until Christmas? A few people, yes. For Christians, this is a very special time of year called Advent. Advent means waiting. And this is a time when Christians wait and prepare for Christmas, which celebrates the birthday of Jesus. I grew up as a United Methodist, and in the church where I attended, a Advent wreath was put on the altar beginning 4 Sundays before Christmas. And at the beginning of each service, the candles were lit. On the first Sunday, 1 purple candle. The second Sunday, 2 purple candles. The third Sunday, 2 purple candles plus a pink one for joy. And the fourth Sunday, all 4 candles around the wreath. And on Christmas Eve, during that service, all 4 candles plus a white Christ candle was lit. And the Christ candle was for Jesus Christ, or Jesus the Messiah. Our Unitarian Universalist roots reach back to Christianity. Now, some Unitarian Universalists identify as Christian, and some don't. Some identify more closely with Judaism, Buddhism, paganism, humanism, or more. And some may celebrate Hanukkah, and some they celebrate Solstice, or many other holidays. But many UU churches have Advent wreaths because we are all touched by Christmas and can learn from the stories that Jesus told about love and peace. Today, Zia and Amy are going to help us light the Advent candles. The words are by Unitarian Universalists, with the words for the first and third candles coming from Erica Hewitt, and the words from the second and fourth from David Bredeen. Our first candle is for hope.
May this candle awaken the best in us, connect us to the eternal, and give life to our hope.
The second candle is for peace.
May we find peace inside ourselves. May we be peace for those around us, and may we renew our commitment to bring peace with justice to our community and the world.
The third candle, the pink candle, is for joy.
Joy, if not yet present within us, will come to us in its own time. May the lighting of this candle bring us patience, grant us faith, draw us closer to joy.
The fourth candle, the candle for this Sunday, is for love.
In this holiday season, throughout the year to come, and always in our lives, may we know we are loved, may we share the love we have, and may we be the love we wish to see.
May the love, peace, hope, and joy of these candles and this season fill all our hearts. And thank you so much to Zia and Amy.
So now is the time in our service when we share our joys and concerns, whether we are here in person or participating remotely. If you are joining us remotely this morning, you may wish to light a real or virtual candle wherever you are to mark what is on your heart. As members of the present congregation come forward as they do every Sunday, they can take a stone for every joy, sorrow, or concern they have and place it in the water which holds the vessel which holds so much of our love. And if they wish to take a stone from around the bowl to remind their hearts this week what is on their hearts, please do so. And if those of you at home wish to share any joys or concerns in the chat, please do so that others may see them. But please remember that that is public information as soon as you type it in. Now let our ritual begin. Let us join together in a spirit of oneness and affection. Spirit of life, at this special time of year, we hold in our hearts this morning all who are facing any hardship or difficulty, those who are grieving, facing illness or disability in themselves, or friends or loved ones. And particularly, we continue to hold our thoughts for all the people of Ukraine who suffer so terribly under the Russian assault. Whether shared here this morning or held silently in our hearts, may our joys be multiplied in community, and may all who are gathered here find comfort and calm. Amen. So this morning, we're going to tell the story of the Panettone, and then we're going to share in a little Panettone communion. Don't get anxious on me if you left the Catholic Church because of communion. We're doing a little variation on that. There's some little treats underneath those gray towels. But first, I need to tell you the story of how this famous bread was developed. Once, in a little village in the hills above Milan, there was a baker named Antonio, and a very good baker he was at that. He made bread for all the people in the village. Good, coarse, country bread that kept the villagers from going hungry when they worked in the fields, plowing and tending their grapes. Now, the baker was a widow, and he had one daughter, a beautiful girl, but spoiled. Because her father was so very fond of her, he would not let her do any work, not in the bakery or anywhere else. He wouldn't even let her help with the housework around home. All poor Serafina had to do each day was sit in her window and watch the world go by. She spent most of her time looking onto the street and up at the market square. One day in November, not long before Christmas, there was great excitement as a group of young huntsmen rode into the village looking for something to eat and drink. As Serafina leaned out her window, her eyes met one of those young men, and poof! It was love at first sight. Luckily, it was love at first sight for the young man as well, and he gave her a big, flirtatious wink. He then sat down to talk to the old ladies, who we always found to be in Italian village squares. He wanted, of course, to find out about the lovely lady in the window. They, in their turn, were eager to know who he was. Well, it turned out that the young man was called Angelo. He was the son of the Duke of Milan and a very important person. Between them, Angelo and the old ladies hatched a plot so that Serafina and Angelo could meet. Angelo called for ink and paper and wrote 2 letters, one to Antonio, the father, and one to his daughter, Serafina. And this is what the letters said. To Serafina, he wrote, "Dear Serafina, I love you. Soon we will meet, and I will hold you in my arms." And to Antonio, the father, he wrote, "Dear Antonio, I like your bread. Please meet me at the market square after Mass tomorrow, and I have a plan that will make you rich and famous." And he asked the old ladies in the square to deliver the letters. The next day, they all met, and Angelo told Antonio about his plan to set him up in a bakery in Milan, and of course, for him at the same time to marry Serafina. Both Serafina and Antonio thought this was a good idea, and so the next day they all left for Milan. Once in Milan, Antonio and Serafina spent the day going around the bakeries of the great city. They tasted torte and panna and biscotti, and they found them all delicious. The biscuits were sweet and crisp, and the bread soft and white, and they were scattered with wonderful seeds. While they walked and nibbled at the bread, Antonio became more and more sad. At the end of the day, he went to Angelo and said, "I cannot make bread here. My bread is good bread, but it is bread for the workers in the hills. Your friends here in Milan would not buy my bread." "Oh," said Serafina, "if only you could make bread as sweet and rich as these dried fruits and candies." "Yes," said Angelo, and as rich and sweet as this punch, fortified with eggs and milk and honey." "That's it," said Antonio. "I'll make a bread that tastes like all these things." And soon Seraphina and her father departed back to their village with wagon loads of the biggest eggs and the sweetest honey and the plumpest raisins and fruits. Well, all the next day, Antonio experimented in his bakery, muttering to himself, and at the end of the afternoon, he put all the dough into the bowls to rise overnight. The next day, he filled every baking tray and tin in the bakery with the dough. There was still some dough left over, so he put what was left into a clean flower pot and baked it in them. Soon the whole village was filled with the delicious smell of baking bread. Antonio, Serafina, and the people of the village, plus Angelo, who had ridden up from Milan, could hardly wait for the bread to be cooled enough to be cut and tasted. At last, Antonio took his first bite, and everyone waited with bated breath. "Yes!" he shouted. And soon everyone was munching on the bread and laughing. And then Angelo loaded up the cart and took what was left back to Milan. Well, everyone in the village waited, and within a week, a cartload of new supplies came up from Angelo with a note. "My friends in Milan loved your bread. Please, can you make lots more? And also, continue to make it in these flower pot shapes, because my friends liked that best. Bring it to Milan, and as soon as possible, and Serafina and I will be married the next day." Well, as soon as he could, Antonio with Serafina set off for Milan with lots of the new bread in the flower pots. As they approached the gates of the city, Antonio could hear the bells ringing, and he thought that was because it was Christmas Eve. But as he came nearer, he could hear cheers and the people calling, "Tonio, Tonio, we love your bread. Pane, pane, panettone." And that's why the Italians always eat panettone, Tony's bread, at Christmas, and why the best panettone comes from Milan. And they were married and everything worked happily ever after. Now, we have a piece of panettone. Some of you may not ever have tried it. It is great, by the way. I had some this morning back in DC. Slice it, put it in the toaster, and then when it comes out very quickly all brown, you put butter on it. Delicious. So if I could get 4 volunteers to each take a plate and pass them up and down the rows, we'll all have panettone.
Please don't judge me as you watch me sneak more bread because I'm sitting next to it and it smells amazing. As a self-funded church, UUCR relies on the generosity of its members and friends to fund daily operations and to ensure that the church and its resources are here for us and others now and in the future. Pledges support our worship and music programs, our religious education program, programs for members and friends, community outreach, and connections to Unitarian Universalism. We now invite you to support the work of UUCR by making your donation to the collection plate if you are here in the sanctuary or at the link on the slide and in the chat box. Thank you for your generosity and support of our beloved spiritual home.
This week, we will also be celebrating the solstice, this coming Tuesday, December 21st. People living in the Southern Hemisphere, in countries such as South Africa and Argentina, will be celebrating the summer solstice, the longest day of the year and the shortest night. But here in North America and in other countries in the Northern Hemisphere, we will experience the exact opposite, the shortest day and the longest night. On December 22nd, the Earth will begin its orbiting journey back again towards the sun, and each day, a little bit at a time, it will grow longer and warmer. For millennia, our ancestors all around the world have celebrated this moment of the turning of the seasons. I would like to invite Catherine Hoagland to read a poem for us in honor of this ancient tradition and to light our solstice candle.
The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. And so the shortest day came, and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people, singing, dancing, to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight this shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And now so do we, here, now, this year and every year. Welcome Yule.
of the solstice, we're going to sing a community song together. It's a round that I learned this summer from a wonderful songwriter called Heidi Wilson. The words are in your order of service, and I believe we also have a slide that will appear. There we go. It's called Behold the Sun Again, and it is a cappella, no accompaniment. So I'm going to teach it to you very quickly right now, and then we will sing it together in a round. So the first line goes like this. Behold the sun again. Let's try that together. Behold the sun again. Beautiful. Earth still spinning, day beginning. Earth still spinning, day beginning. Something stirring in your wild, wild heart. Something stirring in your wild, wild heart. That's the whole song. So let's sing that a couple of times together. Ready? Here we go. Behold the sun again, earth still spinning, day beginning, something stirring in your wild, wild heart. Behold the sun again, earth still spinning, day beginning, something stirring in your wild, wild heart. That's the round. That sounds beautiful. So shall we try it as a round? We'll have this side of the room sing with me. We'll start off, and this side of the room, you will follow us, and my husband, David, will kind of help you out in leading that part, okay? So let's sing it once all together in unison, and then we'll sing it twice in a round. Okay, here we go. Behold the sun again, earth still spinning, day beginning, something stirring in your wild, wild heart. Behold the sun again, earth still spinning, day beginning, something stirring in your wild, wild heart. Something stirring in the sun again, earth still spinning, day beginning, something stirring in your wild, something stirring in your wild, wild heart.
So I wanted to share one of my favorite Christmas stories. It comes from my colleague Frank Rivas. He served our church in Columbus, Ohio, and one in Minneapolis. And he tells this true story about his own childhood. My little sister Renee was 10 years younger than me, and when she was in kindergarten, I considered her to be the most obnoxious child on the planet. So I decided to get her a lump of coal for Christmas. I know that people generally consider Santa's responsibility to give lumps of coals to bad little boys and girls, but I had learned over the years not to trust Santa's judgment. I'd seen it over and over again. The old man went easy on the little kids. So I felt the responsibility fall to me. I searched the yellow pages, went to the nearest coal yard, and picked out an exceptionally large chunk of ugly black coal and wrapped it neatly in a box with a bow and placed it under the Christmas tree. Now, our family encouraged recipients to lift, shake, and guess at the contents as soon as the gift went under the tree. Renee was fascinated by mine. What gift could weigh so much? By our Christmas morning tradition, the gifts were sorted out into 5 piles, one for each person. Then, one at a time, going around the family circle as many times as necessary, we opened our gifts for everybody else to see. Renee opened mine first. As she unwrapped the ribbon, paper, and box, her excitement grew. My excitement grew also. The moment of reckoning was at hand. From her first glance at the coal, she loved it. She screamed with delight and hugged me profusely. How was I to know that only a week early in her kindergarten class, she had learned how to grow colorful crystals on coal? How was I to know this would be her favorite gift? There's a moral to this story, my friends. Watch out for this season. There's a spirit in the air that can turn even the most vindictive thoughts into good deeds. Here ends your Christmas story.
Sing together hymn number 240. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. We're actually going to sing the Waltham tune, not the tune that's in the hymnal. So the words are here in your order of service. If you use the hymnal, just be aware that we are singing the more familiar tune. So please rise in body or spirit. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, all goodwill. I thought as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth to all goodwill. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth to all goodwill. And peal the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail. With peace on earth to all goodwill. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolves from that day to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth to all goodwill.
And I send you on your way to Hanukkah week, Solstice, and Christmas week with this anonymous writing. This holiday season, mend a quarrel. Seek out a forgotten friend. Dismiss suspicion and replace it with trust. Write a love letter. Share some treasure. Give a soft answer. Offer encouragement. Manifest your loyalty in word or deed. Keep a promise. Find the time. Forgive an enemy. Listen. Apologize if you were wrong. Try to understand. Examine your demands on others. Think first of someone else. Appreciate. Be kind. Be gentle. Laugh a little. Laugh a little more. Deserve confidence. Take up arms against malice. Decry complacency. Express your gratitude. Welcome a stranger. Gladden the heart of a child. Take pleasure in the beauty and wonder of this earth. Speak your love. Speak it again. Speak it still once again. Amen.
We now extinguish this flame. But not the light of hope and truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry forth in our hearts until we are together again.
For our postlude today, we're going to sing another hymn all together in community. It's hymn number 72, Has Summer Come Now Dawning. It's perhaps not as well known, but beautiful hymn for this service and this time of year. And the melody, I think, is fairly simple, so you'll pick it up really quickly. So please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Has Summer Come Now Dawning.
We invite our congregants attending worship on Zoom to join us for our virtual Greet Your Neighbor coffee hour to discuss the service theme and enjoy fellowship with other congregants. The link is in the chat box and will be on a forthcoming slide. We hope that you will also use the chat box as a virtual receiving line to leave a message about your appreciation for the worship service. Those here in person are invited to join us for coffee or tea and fellowship right outside here. We are going to leave the chairs set up as they were at the beginning of the service, so that we ask that you do not stack them. I'm going to spend the rest of today spreading cheer, and I hope you will join me.